Hello there everyone and welcome to a new review on the channel. And today we're looking at again something new and something from TCC, and that is the Spectrum Sharpie by Craig Petty. This is a very fun routine that if we all carry Sharpies in our pocket, and if you're more in the magic field of things, this will work wonders for you. I think it's so fun, so simple to do, and I do think that a lot of you will be enjoying this. So having said that, let's roll the intro and get a deep dive into the Spectrum Sharpie. Perfect, you decide to stick around, which means you want to see more about the Spectrum Sharpie. So what is this? This is essentially kind of the classic knife routine, the color changing knife routine, but instead of using knives, you're using Sharpies. We've had this routine by Adam Wilbur with Bic lighters, we've had this routine with flash drives, we've had this routine with countless objects, but this is a very fun routine because it uses a prop that we all carry around and a prop that everyone knows, and that pretty much anyone that's ever seen a magician knows that at one point you'll probably have to sign a card, and most people use Sharpies. So this is a very natural object to have and an organic object to have on you. Now, in terms of what it is, I'll do a small performance for you, but I can't do it here because of the angle and everything. It would be awful. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to film a quick performance outside of this place and add it to the video right now. Hey everyone, so I'll show you something very fun here that just uses something that we all know, and that is a Sharpie. It's the magician's favorite tool. It can be used as a wand, could be used as a writing tool. It's the best. But one thing that I like is being able to switch the Sharpie color of the ink on the fly. And the best way to do this is, instead of buying another Sharpie, you could just shake it and you turn and you think of the color that you want it to become, and it just becomes that. But it doesn't look visually appealing to have a red logo on a black Sharpie, and I think you would agree, even though it serves the purpose, it's not that appealing. So what you can actually do is, if you have a red Sharpie as well, we all know that natively all Sharpies, no matter the color, come with the black logo. But what you can do is you can just do this, and now it looks much more appealing. You have the red with the red and the black with the black. And people think it's some kind of proximity that does it. Even if I were to take the pens here and do this, you can see the logos change, red and black. And if you bring them close, they change again. Even if you were to cross your arms, kind of like this, you can see that the logos keep changing color. And proximity is the best way to do it, kind of just like that. So to make it easier, I'll take the black Sharpie with the red logo, take it and place it inside of my back pocket. And I'll show you how they switch. All you have to do is just think of the color and just rub. And just like that, you can get the red to come on the red Sharpie, and the one that inside of your back pocket now has the black. But I know what you may be thinking. You may be thinking, what if I like red? What if I like blue? What if I like yellow? What if I like green? What if I like purple? What happens then? Then what you can do is you can take your Sharpie and you just think of all those colors and you just give it a shake, and you can make it become a multicolored Sharpie, just like that, that will play with any color that you want. And that is what I wanted to show you. Thank you so much for sticking around, and have a good one. Okay, so you've seen a quick performance of the Spectrum Sharpie. So now that you know what it is, let's talk about where you buy this, how much does it cost, and what do you get. You can buy this directly from TCC Magic or an associate magic dealer. It will set you back 40 USD, which is around 55, 60 Canadian dollars. What you're gonna get with your purchase is this box. This box is, as always, the TCC packaging that we are used to for years now. You get this box, and inside, first thing that you're gonna get when you open it is a tutorial video. So on the back here, you're gonna get a tutorial video with Craig Petty, with live performances that goes over the effect, how it's supposed to be done, additional ideas. The tutorial runs over an hour long, but it's not too long. He teaches you all the moves that you need to do. So you're gonna get a nice tutorial, and then you're gonna get your 3 pens. You're gonna get your Spectrum Sharpie and your black and red Sharpie. They're Sharpie brand. They work how they're supposed to. They're really nice. You know, they don't have any internal gimmicks or anything like that. So you can easily just change the cartridges and keep using the pens if you want. Or even if the pens run out, you don't even have to use them because the trick doesn't rely on anything inside of the pen to be accomplished. So you're going to get your 3 pens, which are beautifully made and work exactly as they should. So that is what you get with your purchase. So now let's talk about difficulty. What is the difficulty of this effect? The effect is if you know the move, and I think that 90% of you that saw the tutorial, saw the trailer, or saw a performance, or saw, you know, a small clip of what this is, you all know how this works. It uses the classic P move. So as long as you can do that move, it's pretty simple. Even that move, if you don't know it, it won't take long for you to be able to get to learn it and have it down pat. So overall, the routine is very easy to do. Now, in terms of practicality, what do you need in order to perform this effect? You need the 3 Sharpies. That is all that you need. If you don't want to do the finish with the multicolored Sharpie, you can just carry around 2 Sharpies. You can carry 2 or 3 Sharpies, depending on the version that you want to do. Or if you want to have these examined or anything like that, you can carry normal Sharpies with you and just hand those out at the end for examination if you want. But I don't really see the need for it for most of the routines that you're going to learn here, okay? So that's what you need to carry around. So pocket management, super, super good. You barely have to carry anything. In terms of angles, the angles of the routine are 360. The only bad angle is from below. That's it. So as long as no one is watching from below you, kind of like this, and you're holding the pens like this, you will be fine. In terms of inspectability, as I said, the pens are not necessarily inspectable. If you do want to have them inspected, you will need to have some other ones with you. But in the flow of the routine, there's really no need to have the pens inspected. You're just doing a magical moment and then you place them back and you are gone. In terms of reset, the reset of the effect is instant. In terms of table, you do not need a table whatsoever in term to do the effect as well. Okay? So now that we've covered that, let's get into where would you perform. So where would you perform the Spectrum Sharpie? The Spectrum Sharpie works very well in close-up environments, whether that's cocktail, table hopping, mix and mingle, casual setting, it will work wonders. However, in larger events like parlor, stage, cabaret, anything like that, this will probably not be the effect that you choose to perform because of the writing. You know, the advantage of things like the color changing knives or other effects is that you can clearly see from far that it changes from red to white. Whereas here, the writing can be seen, but it's harder to see the writing because it's just a small part of the pen. It's not like if the caps were changing. For example, if the caps were the one changing, people could see it from far, but that's not what the effect does. It's the logos. So that makes it less performable for larger environments like a parlor stage or a cabaret. So now that we know all of this, let's talk about the positives and negatives. First, what are the negatives of this effect? The negative of the effect, the only one that I can find is the fact that it is not examinable. This is something that probably people, as Correct Petty says, is magical because they've never seen a Sharpie with a red logo. They've never seen a Sharpie with a multicolored logo, so they may be interested. So because of that, you cannot hand it out, which means that it is not inspectable. It would have been nice if you maybe had, because at the end of the routine, once you do the routine, you only end up with the multicolored Sharpie. So it would have maybe been nice to have an extra multicolored Sharpie to have examined. You know, you show it, but and say, you know what? Look, if you want to choose a color and whatever, you could have done it like that or have one examined one way or another. That's the only issue. Again, it's not a major issue. You don't need this to be examined. You know, when you do some effects, if people start grabbing your props, one is because they really want to be an ass, and two is maybe because you've shown that something tricky is going on with that prop and they're just very interested. But overall, you can just easily put it in your pocket and move out. But it is something to keep in mind because a lot of the color changing knives and other effects out there, they end with the objects being examinable most of the time. So that is something to keep in mind, okay? Except for that, what are the positives? The props are really well made. The routine is fun. The routine is extremely visual. It packs a punch. It has a ton of visual moments. It's easy to do, it's practical, it's easy to carry around, and it can be performed almost anywhere in any type of setting that is close up with people. Having said all of this, would I recommend this Spectrum Sharpie, and what do I give it out of 10? If you're a fan of the type of color changing knife routine, then this is a really good solution that doesn't have you carry knives. It just has you carrying your normal Sharpies that you would use anyway in performance, and that you can actually use in performance. You can have people write with these, no problem. So, if you carry around a Sharpie, which you probably do, and you like the color changing knives routine and you don't want to carry extra props, this is an amazing solution for you, and I would definitely recommend it. So what would I rate it out of 10? I think it's a fun routine. Will I be performing it all the time? No, because it's not necessarily the style of magic that I always do. I'm more in the mentalist field, but I still think this is fun, and it could be, if they're kids or just want a moment of relaxation to do something fun, I do think I would carry this around with me in order to perform it. So because of that, I'm giving the Spectrum Sharpie by Craig Petty an 8.5 on 10. I think it's great, and I think it deserves your attention if you're interested in this type of effect. So that's all I have to say about the Spectrum Sharpie. If you have any additional questions, of course, leave them down below like always. It will be my pleasure to answer. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye bye.